Good morning. We are about to start worship today. Welcome everyone to our virtual worship experience for Greater Joy Baptist Church of Butler. I am Pastor Kim, and we are located at 307 Central Avenue in Butler. And it is an honor and a privilege to worship with you. Listen, I was glad when they said unto me, "Come, let us go into the house of the Lord." I said, I was glad when they said unto me, "Come, let us go into the house of the Lord." I need you to get ready to worship. I need you to put everything else aside. This is your time to lift up some praises, to shake off the shackles of the week. So let's get ready to worship the Lord. This is the day. Let us rejoice. This is the day. Despite everything that's happened, I need some people that can just open up their mouth and say, we are blessed. Yeah, we don't stop that. Yeah, this whole year is almost gone. Yeah, we are strengthened. But we are still blessed. Because I believe somebody can see this morning. I believe somebody can hear this morning. I believe somebody goes on to the place to say, and that's enough reason to just say that we're blessed. Come on, everybody say we're blessed, we're blessed, we're blessed, we're blessed. Come on. We're blessed in the field. We're blessed in the field. We're blessed when we fall and when we go. We have now every stronghold and power we must see. For the devil is defeated. We will God is great and greatly to be praised. He is an awesome and powerful God. And in spite of it all, He keeps on blessing me. I cannot understand it. I cannot fathom it. I have no idea why He's doing it, but He keeps on blessing me. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. It is a great day to be able to worship our God. Thank you to all of you who are so faithfully worshiping with us virtually every Sunday. It is a blessing, even though we can't be together face to face. I promise you that we can feel your love and we feel your support, and we thank God for each and every one of you. For the one that's laying in the bed right now, for the one that's locked in the bathroom right now, for the one that's sitting in the car right now, for the one that's at work, supposed to be working right now. We thank God for every single one of you. Listen, we're going to transition quickly and get ready to give today. Again, more gratitude is due there because we thank you so much for all of you who have been so faithful in your giving, allowed us to move forth in ministry, to continue. I share with you, we were able to bless the third shift essential workers at Murdoch Development Center. This week, we were able to send out a little something to our graduates who are going out to college, and who have finished high school this year. So we just thank God for all of the blessings that you give that allow us to continue to keep the doors open and to continue to be a blessing. Listen, if you want to give via PayPal, you can do it at greaterjoybutner@gmail.com. If you want to give via Cash App, you can do it at $GJ Butner. If you want to mail it in, you can mail it in to Post Office Box 115, Creekmore, North Carolina, 27522. And for those of you who have been dropping off your offering outside of the door, you can continue to do that. And we are making sure that we are taking them in, securing them, and keeping a record of them. We're going to ask musicians to play right now as we get ready to give for just a couple of moments. much for all of you who have given this morning. We got a lot going on in the sanctuary this morning, but we thank God we are pressed on just the same. Listen, we're getting ready to transition into our time of praise and worship. And I say this every week, but I want to say it again this week. This is a time for you to just get removed from everything that's going on around you. Here's what I'd like for you to do just before we go into praise and worship. Would you invite one person? There should be a little link down if you're looking live that says share. It looks like a little person or something like that. Invite one person into worship today. I know sometimes that makes us a little vulnerable and we don't want to do it, but everybody just invite one person into the virtual worship on today. That's your evangelism, because it said, go ye into all of the world, compelling men and women that they should come. Listen, it's pretty easy today. We don't have to knock on doors. We don't have to go out in the sun and in the heat. But today, you could just click a button and invite somebody into the presence of the Lord. Come on, everybody invite somebody right now. Just one person. Maybe just the first person that pops up when you click that share button. Or share it to a group that you're a part of. Whatever you need to do. Invite somebody as you shift your spirit. Yeah, you just operated in the gift, the worship of giving. You just worshiped him through evangelism. And now we're going to give him some praise and some glory. Look at that. Full worship experience. It don't take a whole lot. Yeah, we can worship God fully. Come on, let's get ready. Get your mind on God. At the mention of your name, every knee must bow and every tongue confess that you are Lord. Yeah. And at the mention of your name, every knee must bow and every tongue confess that you are. Beginning at verse number 14. Job chapter 1. Give me some bottom off, please. Job chapter 1, verse number 14 says, a messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabians attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was speaking, another messenger came and said, the fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was speaking, another messenger came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camel and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who escaped to tell you. While he was speaking, yet another came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking, when suddenly a mighty wind and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them and they were dead. And I'm the only one that escaped to tell you. Verse 20 says, at this, Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head. Then he fell down to the ground in worship and said, therefore, today, I just want to preach about patience and gentleness, about understanding that we don't always cope the same ways. We don't always respond identically, and we don't all bounce back at the same rate. Yes, sometimes there's a process. Yeah. There are steps that must be mastered on the way to normalcy. And I believe that I can speak for somebody out there, and I know I can most certainly speak for myself and say, I'll be okay. Just let me work through it. You see, because we don't want to let folks work through stuff. Can we just talk for a while today with a little more monitor? We want everyone to handle things the same. We lack tolerance when others don't ape our coping mechanisms. And I just want to help myself and 1 or 2 other folks today that might have somebody in your life that seems to be going through something. They're going to be okay. Just let them work through it. I know it might sound a bit therapeutic, but it's also biblical, because as we see through the story of Job, how we respond, our reactions to strife are actually important to God. Remember, he talked about Job. He touted Job as his example. He put a commitment that he saw in Job on display when he said, have you considered my servant Job? Since God is all-knowing, he knew that Job would be able to make it through the attacks of the enemy. He knew Job would be okay. He just had to work through it. Let me just teach right here, because we always hold Job up on this pedestal. We always herald his faith and his strength. But Job was like you and me. He was not perfect. Right. He doubted. Right. He swayed. He questioned. He got angry. Oh, we know in the end that he was okay. He had to just work through it. But we always want to talk about the double for your trouble, Job. We always want to talk about the though he slay me, Job. But there was also a Job that lashed out. There was also a Job that begged to die. There was also a Job that regretted the day he was born. Job was a bad man. Now, don't get me wrong. He persevered through what I don't know if I could have, but he had stumbles along the way. That's right. He was okay, but he had to work through it. And I came up today just to speak for some folks that have swayed. I came to be a surrogate for some folks that have questions. I'm standing in for the one that's ever had a moment where you wished you weren't born, not because you didn't love God, but because what you had to face felt like all sores and ashes. I came to tell somebody that you will bounce back. I came to declare without question that you will don't get double for your trouble. I stand flat-footed to speak victory over your life, but just in case somebody is looking at your life from the outside, questioning your responses and commenting on your choices and ridiculing your coping mechanisms, I came to stand up for you, Job. Listen to me and listen to me good. We're going to be okay. We just gotta work through it. So yeah, you might see me cry. And you might witness some fear in me, and there could be a few missteps. I just got to work through it. I might not act like you think I should act right now, and my follow through might be slower than what it should be, and I might have to withdraw just a little bit. It's not because I've lost faith in God, and it's not because I've given up. It's not a sign of my surrender. It's just a sign that I'm working through it. And I'm going to be okay. This is just a conversation today. I just want to break it down for the judgmental folks, for those like Job's friends who don't understand where your head's at right now, and even for the people that really love you. I just provide a peek behind the working it through curtain. I just want to give a glimpse into everything that people can't see from the outside. I want to share some insight into what's going on within a lot of us by digging into the story of Job. I want to help somebody understand what's happening. We're going to be okay. We just got to work through it. What are the people working through, Pastor Kim? First of all, a whole lot of us are struggling with a shifting identity. See, because before all of this calamity happened, Job knew who he was. He knew he was a husband. He knew he was a father. He knew he was respected in his community. He knew that he loved God, and he knew that he was prosperous. That was who he was. But when life comes at Job hard, his whole identity fluctuates. It shifts, and it is unsolidified. Almost everything that he knows about himself begins to flow away from him. He goes from being a father of 10 to being a father to no one. His identity shifted. He goes from being a leader of his house to being the husband of a wife who no longer believes in him and tells him to curse his God and die. His identity shifted. As a respected leader in the community is coming to question because of an assumed transgression. His identity shifted. Much, if not all of his wealth is gone. His identity shifted. His favor, blessings, and protection seem to have been removed. His identity shifted. And people could not understand that Job was struggling with the shifting identity. He was going to be okay, but he just had to work through it. And this is the message for the children of the Most High today. Many of us are struggling with shifting identities. Until recently, many of us didn't know ourselves as unemployed. Many of us didn't know ourselves as full-time work-from-home employees. Many of us didn't know ourselves as virtual educators, but now our identities have shifted. We didn't know ourselves as virtual worshipers. We didn't know ourselves as furloughed service workers. We didn't know ourselves as people unable to pay our bills, but our identities have shifted. I don't know about you, but I just realized that I could be a threat because of a virus that I might not know I carry. I found out that so many people around me still hate me because of my skin color. I just discovered in my life that democracy is not guaranteed. In just a few short months, my identity has shifted. Somebody out there became single again. Somebody just found the social activist in you. Somebody just uncovered your inner entrepreneurial spirit. And somebody just discovered your Jesus freak side. And people don't understand that you've got some work to do in order to deal with who you were versus who you are now. You're going to be okay though, baby. You just got to work through it. I dare somebody to just talk to social media or to talk to somebody close by you and say, I'm trying to figure out who I am in this moment. Yeah, come on, somebody type that for me and say, I'm trying to figure out who I am in this moment, because there has been a turn in my trajectory. There has been a change in my calling. There has been a pivot in my purpose. There's been a modification in my movement. Come on and tell somebody, I thought I knew who I was, but my understanding of who I am is fluid right now. So if you can't understand how I'm acting, just understanding that I might be struggling with a new identity. Can somebody open up your mouth or type in all capital letters and say, God is shifting me. Now, if I got anybody that's going through a change right now and struggling with transition, come on, say, God is shifting me. If you didn't know you were going to have to teach your children, and you didn't know you were going to have to look for another job, and you didn't know that the one you love was going to walk out and leave you, come on and say, God is shifting me. If you didn't know you were going to end up sick this year, and you didn't know that your depression was going to flare back up, and you didn't know that you were going to lose your house, come on, say, God is shifting. There's a transformation going on in me. Something on the inside is working on the outside, and it's making a transition in me. So if I got anybody in the house today that says, I still believe God in the midst of my shifting identity, do I have anybody on virtual worship that'll say, God, I still trust you, even though I don't even know who I am right now? Somebody that'll say, God, I still believe, even though I can't even identify myself right now. I don't even know who I am. When I look in the mirror, I don't recognize who I become. Then I dare you to open up your mouth and lift up your holy hands and say, change me, oh God, to be what you want me to be. It doesn't matter if I'm uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if people don't understand. Somebody say, change me, oh God, and make me what you would have me to be. I need somebody that's willing to let God shift you. I need somebody that's willing to let God transition you. I need somebody that's willing to let God move you. Come on and open up your mouth and say, change me, God. Because I'm going to be okay. I just got to work through it. Secondly, we must realize that there are so many of us right now who are clinging to survival. Yeah. Notice, I didn't say surviving. I said clinging to survival. I know you're a hustler, baby, and I know you're going to always be good. I know you got that live or die trying thing down pat, but there are some folks like me and like Job that are clinging to survival. Yeah. Not fighting to survive, that's not what I said. Not scuffling to survive, but just grabbing hold to the skirt tails of survival and holding on for dear life. Yeah. The Bible says that Job was in such a state that his friends didn't even recognize him when they saw him. He was so gutted. He was so worn. He was so ravaged by what had befallen him. This leads me to infer that Job looked like death. I'm sure with all the sores and living outside, he smelled like death. And if I sit in the text and read his pleas to God for death to come and take him away, I can only conclude that Job was not only clinging to his physical, but also his mental survival. Yes. No, remember the only parameter, Rodney, that God put on the enemy was that he couldn't kill him. Yeah. That's the only power that God did not give the enemy over Job's life. The only caveat for Job was survival. Yeah. And Job was clinging to it. Somebody say clinging. Yeah, he was going to be okay, but he needed to work through it. And here's where I put on my cheerleading uniform today. Some days, just clinging to survival is going to have to suffice. Yeah. Some days you are not going to kill the game. In some seasons, breath will be ragged and we will be ravaged. And rather than fighting the strong fight, we're simply clutching at the hem of survival's garment. And that's okay, baby. You just need to work through it. I know that most of the time you're a warrior to beat all warriors. But some days there is something to be said for just clinging. Come on, somebody holler clinging. Clinging to your sanity. Clinging to your marriage. Clinging to your remission. Clinging to your employment. Clinging to your integrity. Come on, just say clinging. Yeah, clinging to your hope and clinging to your dream and clinging to your home and clinging to your promise and clinging to your memory. Somebody say, I'm just clinging. Now I just need the real folks right there to say, I'm just clinging. Yeah, my arms are worn out, but I'm clinging. My strength is not gone, but I'm clinging. My mind is frazzled and cloudy, but I'm clinging. I need somebody out there that'll say, no, I ain't going hard in the paint. For the last few weeks, all I could do was hang on. Somebody say, I'm going to be okay. But right now, I got to just cling. I got to just work through some stuff. If anybody in August of 2020 that's not afraid to lift up your hands, that's not afraid to open up your mouth and give your testimony, that'll say some days, all I do is cling. Some days, all I do is just get through it. Some days, I can't even hardly open my mouth. The only thing that I'm doing is clinging to my mind, clinging to my health, clinging to my sanity, clinging to my temper. I'm just clinging. Do I have any clingers out there? Do I have any clingers out there that are just clinging to a little bit of something, that are holding on with two fingernails, that say, I'm just clinging. I can't move from right there because I know what it's like to not have anything left, and you just gotta hang on to a whole lot of nothing. But I don't want the enemy to get it twisted. Just because I'm clinging does not mean I will not survive. Because unless God gives the say so, unless God gives the say so, you do not have the power to take me out. I just encourage you today, man. The enemy can wound you. The enemy can bind you. The enemy can tempt you. The enemy can sicken you. The enemy can confuse you. But unless God says so, the enemy cannot kill you. So can I get some folks that'll say, I just got encouraged, so I'll just keep on clinging. I just got encouraged. I'll just keep on clinging. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know how 2020 is going to end. But right now, I'll just keep on clinging. Knowing that God has the ultimate say so over my life. And I'm preaching like the old church preacher. And I say, I'm still holding on. I'll never let go of his hand. Will somebody just testify before we move and get out of here and say, I'm still holding on. I'm gonna be okay, but I just gotta work through it. I'm struggling with identity. I'm clinging to my survival. But for this last point, I gotta call Job one more time. Come here, Job. I need to ask you a question. I know you're okay now, but when you have been struggling with who you have been, not being who you were, when you felt your life slipping out of your grasp, Job? How in the world did you come out okay? I hear Job say, I didn't even know who I was. I wasn't even sure that I could cling to survive. But there was one thing that always helped me as I was working through. I said, what is it, Job? Because I got some friends out here that are going through some of the same things. I got some folks I'm preaching to that are struggling like me and you, Job. What is it, Job? He said the one thing that helped me work through it was that I was always able to return to my praise. When things got rough, I read the Bible and said Job got up from where he was. Job said when times got hard, I got so discouraged. I tore my clothes off in anguish. I was hurting so bad, and I had got down so sick. I could not understand what in the world God was doing. He said, I got so stick faith that I shaved my head as if I was in mourning, and I hadn't even died. But what did you do, Job? He said, after I got myself together, after all of my dramatics, after all of my tears, after all of my falling out, after all of my begging, after all of my compromising, after all of my questions, I did what I always do. I returned to my praise. I had torn my clothes. I had shaved my head. I had gone back on drugs. I had got back out in the streets. I had quit my job. I had cussed everybody out. But what I did was I always returned to my praise. I fell down on the ground and I began to worship. No matter what, always return to your praise and say like Job said, I will praise him even though the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. I will praise his name. I can't speak for nobody else, but I've been just like Job. And when life got hard, I didn't always do right. I ran back to some stuff, the stuff that I used to do. I went back to some folks, the folks that I used to be tangled up. This is just my testimony, because I know y'all always live right. But every time, I always return to my place. Here's what I discovered, that when I praise, it helps me work through it. It might not work for you, but when I praise helps me work through it. When I lift my hands, it helps me work through it. When I say amen, it helps me work through it. When I give God glory, it helps me work through it. Do I have anybody that will say, I remember when I was down and I gave God some glory. I remember when I was struggling and I gave him one good hallelujah. And my praise helped me work through it. I don't know about your praise, but my praise has a job. It's got to go to work when I get in trouble. My praise has got to work me through. My praise has got to lift me up. My praise has got to make me stronger. Somebody say, my praise has a I ain't got a lazy praise. I ain't got a unemployed praise. My praise is not laid off. My praise is gotta help me work. Somebody say, I'm gonna be okay, but I gotta work through it. There's somebody who finds yourself broken. There's somebody who finds yourself clean. There's somebody who has been depressed. There's somebody who's sick right now. There's somebody who has been abandoned. There's somebody who's angry right now. To give your praise a specific assignment. I dare somebody to open up your mouth and lift up your head. I don't care who's in your house. I don't care who's in your room. I don't care who can hear you. You better assign your praise a specific job. Somebody say praise work through my marriage. Praise work through my job. Praise work through my diagnosis. Praise work through my depression. There's somebody. There's somebody to open up your mouth and go work. Work on your problem. Work on your situation with your praise. Work on your fatigue with your praise. I know it ain't working. That's a lazy praise. But I've been struggling too hard not to work through it. I've been too low not to work through it. I've been too broken not to work through it. So praise, you got an assignment. I'm gonna be okay. But today, I gotta work through some stuff. Somebody say glory. Working through. Say glory. Working through. Hallelujah. 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 I'm working through. Come on, work. Come on, work. Stop being ashamed. Stop being scared. Stop putting on for folks and work through your stuff. You're gonna be okay, but you don't have to praise for it. You're gonna be okay, but you don't have to shout for it. You're gonna be okay, but you don't have to worship for it. Come on and work. Come on and work. Work, praise, If your children ask you, Mama, what are you doing? If your wife asks you, Hey, what are you doing? You say, I'm not okay. I'm going to do some stuff. That person that you love, they're gonna be okay. Yeah. They just gotta work through it. Listen, Sheila, they don't know who they are right now. They're holding on to their mental and physical survival. So let me give a harsh reality. They might not deal with you right now. That's right. But you still let them praise. Let them go back and put their praise to work. Prayer changes things. Worship is commitment. Praise is a work. Put your praise to work. I vow to praise you through the good and the bad. I'll praise you whether happy or sad. I'll praise you in all that I go through, because praise is what I do. And I owe it all to you. Praise is what I do. Wanna be close to you. I lift my hands in praise. Praise is who I am. I will praise him while I can. I will bless him I vow to praise you through the good and the bad. I'll praise you whether happy or sad. I'll praise you in all that I go through, because praise is what I do. And I owe it all to you. I vow to praise you through the good and the bad. I'll praise you whether happy or sad. matter what. In all that I go through, because faith is my We're ready to go. But I gotta open the doors of the church. Is there someone here today in the worship, virtually or face to face, says, you know what? I need to give my life to Christ. I need some help with all I got to work for. And I believe Jesus is the answer. The second appeal is there somebody here today says, you know what? I was in relationship with God. But somehow when life got messed up, I didn't return to my praise. I got further and further and further away. And I need to come back to the Lord. If you're here, would you come? This last appeal is if you're looking for a church home. Yeah, even virtually. Even drive up in the parking lot. We would love to be that church home for you. I would be honored to cover you. Come. Come. We will embrace you, even if only virtually. Type it in. You got some stuff to work through. And I just hate to tell you like the old church, but baby, you're going to need Jesus. You're going to need him. Come on. Go to work. Start today. Yeah. Come on, go to work starting today. Yeah. Look, Job said, I just wanted to share this because I feel like it's what so many of us are going through. And 7:3 said, I've been sad for months. Does anybody relate to the young people? Yeah. He said, I'm miserable every night. Y'all need to read this right in the word. At night I lie down and I think my nights are so long. Then I wait until dawn. But my body is still not still. He said, I've been sad for months. I'm miserable every night. Does that sound like life to anybody? But here's what I love in verse 23. He got himself back together. Like we do. He fell apart. As I said, he failed apart. But then chapter 23 and 10, he said, but God knows where I am. He knows when you're up all night. He knows when you're sad for money. He said, God knows my actions. He tests me so that I will be like pure gold. So I make a choice. I choose to live in the way that God wants me to live. I'm just reading out loud. I refuse to do evil deeds. I obey God's laws. Each day, God's words are more precious to me. God knows where you are. He knows you're working through some stuff. Do you hear me? You're not broken. You haven't failed. You haven't messed up. You are working through some stuff. And everything that we have going on right now, we just got to work through some stuff. But you got to do right. And you got to return to your praise. That's the only thing that's going to bring us back. That's the only thing that's going to help us work through. That's it, right there. The praise. The praise. The praise. Praise is what I do. It's what I do. Can somebody help me say that today? I don't think I got what I do. I'm talking about. Let's go. It's what I do. It's what I do.